You're listening to Forestry in Focus for the latest news and updates in Nova Scotia's forestry community. This episode was recorded on September 25th, 2025, and I'm Todd Burgess, the Executive Director of Forest Nova Scotia. To start things off, we've got some headlines that have been happening this week in Nova Scotia in the forestry sector. One of the first ones is Forest Nova Scotia has launched its third annual Our Trees campaign. Secondly, and this is a pretty important one, Acadian Timber announced a donation of $2.5 million to the UNB Faculty of Forestry in Fredericton on Monday, September 22nd. Forest Nova Scotia also attended the Wood Pellet Association of Canada conference in Halifax recently, just this week, where global experts discussed decarbonization and energy transition using waste wood and residual wood from the forest sector. Now, we also hosted, or we will be hosting, our third 2025 Town Hall in Oxford. You're hearing this on Friday, so that will have happened on Thursday, yesterday. And we also launched our second season of our Forestry Uncut podcast, and you'll hear that coming this Friday on the 26th being launched. So go back to our first headline. Forestry's third annual Our Trees campaign has been active this month, starting at the Bridgewater Farmers Market, and we continued on to the Clayton Park, the Truro Stampede, Truro Farmers Market, and Antigonish. We've got others coming up, including the Sydney and Wolfville Farmers Market, and we have plans to involve some schools and community groups to get some seedlings to plant, if possible. So this initiative allows participants to plant trees and contribute directly to carbon sequestration efforts. Additionally, by distributing these seedlings throughout the community, throughout Nova Scotia, we have valuable opportunities to engage with individuals in Nova Scotia and discuss topics related to forestry. So some of these topics are pretty important, and that's one of our main objectives, is actually have those conversations while giving that opportunity for people to plant those seedlings. Now to talk about Acadian Timber and their donation of $2.5 million to the UNB Faculty of Forestry. I was there in Fredericton to actually meet some of these people, and it really goes to show, this donation goes to show that Acadian Timber is a great corporate citizen and cares deeply for the forests it manages. It manages millions of hectares, 2.4 million hectares, I believe. So it's notable that the largest shareholder of Acadian is also the owner of Macer Forest Holdings, which happens to be the stalking horse bidder for the northern pulplands in Nova Scotia. So it gives me hope that those lands in Nova Scotia will be in good hands if, in fact, they are the eventual owners of the northern pulplands. This wood pellet conference that I attended this week in Halifax, there were some deep insights into the bioenergy sector. Scientists, professors, CEOs of companies from around the world, a couple hundred people were there. Few from Nova Scotia, for experts from around the world came together to talk about decarbonization, how low-quality wood residues from the forestry operations and sawmill residues from forestry can help us through this energy transition. So there is hope for all you forestry folks out there in Nova Scotia. There is hope on the horizon for the excessive amount of low-quality wood that we have in Nova Scotia and that we're facing. There will be markets for this low-grade wood coming. But the Nova Scotia forestry sector really must be smart about the strategic direction we choose, which companies actually come to play to use that low-grade wood. We need to speak to the experts, and we need to have a strategic direction. And the people that were speaking at this conference really are experts in the field, and we need to choose the right path. If you didn't have a chance to make it to our town hall in Oxford on Thursday, September 25th, you still do have the chance to come out and see us at the farm markets in Cape Breton and Wolfville. That's an opportunity to actually meet some of our staff and get a seedling. There was also the Woodlot Owners of the Year were just announced, the Bremner family. It was Castle Frederick Farms, owned by Jim Bremner, who has passed away recently, but his daughters were recognized in the legislature just yesterday on Wednesday. There was a plan to have a field day at the Woodlot and celebrate the Woodlot Owner of the Year. However, that's been postponed to the spring just due to staff time availability and things. So stay tuned to hear about when we're going to have the field day to celebrate the Woodlot Owner of the Year. So that's your Forestry in Focus Nova Scotia news update for this week. Stay tuned for more stories shaping our province's forest economy. Now, you can also follow us on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram to stay updated on some of the recent news that's coming out. But you can also become a member of Forest Nova Scotia. For a small fee each year, you get preferred pricing at some of our events. You'll get regular newsletter updates and some early notification of funding opportunities as they become available. So feel free to become a member of Forest Nova Scotia. Really, if you're a woodlot owner, that's probably one of the best options for you. Thank you very much for listening. Hope to hear from you soon.